Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. I'm going to do my very best to explain PayID in less than 10 minutes. And I think you'll find this is quite astounding. What if you had a simple, easy to remember ID that you could use to send or receive money? Just one simple ID, like, for example, that we see on the PayID website here, Alice, followed by a $sign. Think of that as your @ mark in your email address, and then any.com after. Actually, it could be a gmail.com, it could be .me, any URL address. And that ID would then in turn link to your bank account and your XRP ledger, for example, or your Bitcoin address, or your Visa. Yeah, it's now possible. The birth of PayID was born in the last 24 hours, and it's going to make sending payments like you send a photo, or that you send a message or a video from your phone, your laptop, and even Alexa. Payments, the infrastructure right now consists of hundreds of isolated networks that don't speak to each other. So for example, if I want to use my PayPal and send it to my friend who is in Japan and has a Line account, doesn't work. But PayID is going to be a single, united network for all companies to participate in. At 10:14 last night, my time in Japan, Ripple tweeted this tweet. So together, over 40 global companies and nonprofits, Ripple joins the Open Payments Coalition to help drive innovation forward and simplify global payments for all. Discover the coalition's, the hashmark PayID, an exciting step for the global interoperability. And I thought, wow, this sounds like it's really bringing some big change to the world. And then in a very coordinated effort, all the founding members began tweeting out the birth of this PayID at the same time. It was wild. It was really wild. ODL partner Bitso, Coins.ph, Bitstamp, BTC Markets, and then the BRD wallet, whose CEO and founder is the lead to SBI Ripple Asia. BitTrue, Coinfield, Coin1 exchanges. Oh, Uphold's in there. Forte, the world's biggest gaming entity. PolySign, Unstoppable Domains, the partners. It just got crazy. It was crazy. And when you really start to take a look at what is going on with the white paper, this is very similar to some of what attracted me to Bitcoin. It is cryptography. It's secure. It's agnostic. It doesn't care who uses it, who receives it. It's also decentralized. It's peer-to-peer, but it also is interoperable. It's robust. It is a use case for both crypto and traditional finance, and it's simple to use. It has 4 authors, you can see at the top there. Dr. Anchal Malhotra. I know she's a doctor because she just gave her dissertation in August and she is now a PhD. I'm really surprised she didn't use it. I don't think you should be shy. You should use it. And then to the right of that is Austin King. He is a Harvard, Microsoft, Stratolabs CEO prior, and now a Ripple engineer with Spring. And then you have David Schwartz, who I think needs no introduction. Of course, he's Ripple CTO. He's also for UBTC Maxis out there. He is one of the early participants in that community. And then there's Michael Zokowski, and he also is from Harvard. He's the Logos founder, and he's head of the DeFi at Xpring. It's a very long white paper, 63 pages, but you can tell they have put a lot of work into this. Now, I was so excited, and I got a little crazy with thinking, oh my God, the BTC Maxis, they've got to see this. And I had just seen that Tone Vase went live on his stream. And I wanted to shout out to the Bitcoin crowd because I know it was something that they want to know about. But I was totally timed out immediately. Yeah, well, it doesn't ever feel good when you get timed out. Because I think his monitors of the channel felt like I was trolling. But really, truly, I was not. My heart was in it to just tell them, look, 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 because this is for the entire ecosystem. I did get a question, what does this mean for XRP? Well, anytime the ecosystem is enhanced, improved, and one step closer to adoption, it's good for XRP and it's good for all of the projects. And I think this is why the Bitcoin maxis remain to be at a disadvantage. They are just a frog in the well still. So, of course, I was feeling desperate after I got timed out, and I asked Pomp to help me, but yeah, he's not going to help me. I know that. But at the moment, I was caught up in all of the excitement. So David made a thread on Twitter highlighting the many things this PayID can do. I will put a link to it in the description. You know, these human readable addresses, the multiple fiat and crypto payments to a single destination address. It meets regulatory requirements. If you send me a Bitcoin and I don't have any way to receive it, don't worry, you don't lose it. The payment will just fail. And Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, he tried to explain it to Melissa Lee on CNBC's Fast Money, but honestly, I don't think she got it. She was more stuck on that who was going to be disrupted. I think she doesn't understand the value of how unifying everyone is the value. Outside of the world of the crypto ecosystem, it's all about who can you destroy, who can you dominate, who can you crush. This is good for all cryptocurrencies, traditional finance as well. So I know she didn't get it. That's okay. She'll get it. And Weetzy had a list of questions that he received, and he posted his answers on his COIL site. It's very helpful, informative, and insightful. Your own PayID on the Sum app, by the way, is coming in Q3 or Q4. But I did learn what Weetzy's PayID was. So I have the Sum app downloaded on my phone, and I put it in, and it easily found him right away. And of course, you know how when you're doing something for the first time, you never send a full amount. So I just sent over 0.001 XRP, and it sent successfully, basically 1, 2, 3. It was very, very fast. If I can do it, the world can do it. So I'm feeling that I had just participated in something very special. History in the making, an awareness that really could be world changing. It's an awesome feeling. So we have had a video that came out just about, oh gosh, like within 20 minutes ago, right before I went to go record this. Weetzy has put together another short explanation of PayID and Sum. I will put it in the description below. And Ethan Baird, he is, of course, leading the charge at Xpring. He says that this brings the world one step closer to realizing the Internet of Value. And to learn more about the PayID, you can visit, of course, the website. And if you're interested in using PayID in your app, register for the virtual PayID Developer Conference that's on June 25th. That is something you can register for really quick. They're going to have a live event with engineers who you can learn how to collaborate and build the future for open payments. And this is going to be a live virtual event where it'll feature keynotes from Ripple CEO and CTO Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz. I think it'll be great. Now, if you are not a developer but want to join the community, you can do that too. You can sign up and you'll be part of the newsletter and hear about speaker events, hackathons, etc. And if you want to take more of another kind of participatory point, you can join the Telegram group. I think it had 68 members as of just a few hours ago. And if you are a Telegram user, maybe this is how you want to keep up with how, because I think you're going to see a whole lot more people join this open payment coalition. And last but not least, this is the revolution of payments, and that we've not had it yet, according to David. This is a really great speech and discussion and talk that he gave on stage in Berlin last summer. And you can see here, this is really, really in the early times of payments. And it is moving towards, in his vision, a standardized ecosystem where the world of payments will be able to interact in a flexible and incredibly powerful way. So a tremendous opportunity for developers, of course. And if this triangle can be completed, all those points are touching, we have what is going to, I think, be the vision that David has. Listen to this. This makes so much more sense than the first time I watched it.
That quote is actually quite applicable, since I've been working on substantially the same idea for something like 6 years now. And I keep telling myself I'll kind of ease off a little bit. I always seem like there's one more thing that I need to do, and I do that, and there's another one more thing, so I'll probably be at this till I die. Hello, I'm David Schwartz, the Chief Technology Officer at Ripple. I kind of want to start at the end to let you know where I'm going, so that, number one, I don't forget to make the whole point that I came here to make, but also so you kind of know where I'm going and you can kind of assemble the ideas in sort of a framework. So there's been a revolution. Most of you are probably too young to remember the days when data was circuit switched. When you made a phone call, it was on a circuit that held for the whole call. And there was a revolution, the internet, that switched from circuit switch data to packet switch data. And that made it much more interesting to interact with information. In the telephony age, there wasn't much you could do with information. You could just switch it from point to point, or you could be the endpoint. But there wasn't a sort of rich ecosystem of data services. And obviously, as I'm sure you all know, today the internet has an incredibly rich ecosystem that developers participate in by interacting with data in a much more complex way than you could in the circuit switch era. And while that revolution was dramatic, it was not unprecedented. There was actually a similar revolution in the physical delivery of goods. You don't have to go back too many years before it wasn't possible for me as a consumer to order something from China and get a packet, a week later for, on the order of $5. And the elements of commerce are the physical delivery of goods, the exchange of information, and payment. And we have not had that revolution in payments yet. And the point that I'm going to make today is that we are sort of in the pre-shipping container circuit switch days of payments. And we're going to be in the sort of standardized ecosystem world of payments where you can interact with payments in incredibly flexible and powerful ways. And that's going to be a tremendous opportunity for developers to be able to sort of complete that triangle of the physical delivery of goods, the exchange of information, and the movement of money. If I can't pay you for a service, there's really not as much point in you providing it to me. And if we can complete that triangle, that's when we'll really see an explosion.
That's when we'll really see an explosion. I think this is the beginning of this realized explosion. I just love it. I'm really, really inspired by David. Okay, we are jumping to the fluff, everyone. Yeah, maybe I'm still stuck on the last video. If you saw if you saw what I chose to talk about, that's probably what I had on my mind. Anyway, this is the start of baseball season again in Japan on Friday night, and this is Yokohama Bay Stars. 5,000 fans actually sent in photographs of their support, and they have been printed out in cardboard and are going to be put in the seats for the game because they are not allowing fans to actually attend the game. But I thought this was fantastic for the players to actually see this. And it's in fact fantastic for the fans to feel like they can participate even if they are represented in cardboard. And if you are looking for some really bizarre sports from Japan, there's no shortage here. This is called bataoshi. Bataoshi. It's pole toppling. It was played in schools before. They have since really kind of slowed down the playing in school, although it's now really a big time sport played among the National Defense Academy. But you'll find a few places still do play. So there are two teams, all right, and 300 people total. And two teams, there'll be 75 that protect the pole, and then there'll be 75 attackers. And someone has to guard the pole at the top. And I can show you a photograph here. He's called the saru, which means monkey in Japanese. And now this is just gets crazy because as the attackers come, they can tackle, they can wrestle, they can climb over. They're not supposed to punch or kick. And what they are trying to do is bring the pole down within 30 degrees of being horizontal. And the first team to do that wins. And I just think you're going to feel, oh my gosh, when you watch at the level of intensity and roughness and dangerous level this sport takes on. It's really crazy. No kicking, remember, no kicking. Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, so it looks like they're going, the attackers, I think. Okay, so the Sato is trying to get back to the top again. Oh, there goes his clothes. Looks like there goes his pants too. Yeah, pretty crazy, huh? Pretty crazy. You can see why a lot of schools don't play this anymore. But anyway, that was an example of that sport in Japan. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.